the Philadelphia Eagles will make to look another run at the Super Bowl, if you will. Like, seriously, in 2023, I don't see why they're probably going to be the team, why they wouldn't be the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl again this year, because, I mean, they're still stacked. They just extended Jalen Hurts yesterday, so, I mean, that team's going to be happy. Chemistry is going to be good. They're going to be coming into the draft with 2 first-round draft picks. Everything's going to be great. And so I think, honestly, the Philadelphia Eagles, going into the draft, there's a couple of different scenarios that I could see them, really getting better with through the draft, and we're going to jump through those today as we talk about our dream draft scenarios for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2023 NFL draft. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring it in here. We just did the Bears one, so we're kind of bringing it in and going to the Eagles at 10. And quite honestly, this is just what happens when you got a good GM that just continues to make trades and do his thing. Yes, he did, and he does have the 10th overall pick as well as the 30th, so he's going to have 2 first-round draft picks. Now, particularly here at 10, I've been saying the same thing in all of these dream draft scenarios. To me, it really depends on, obviously the Texans have been discussing, where they're going to go at 2, but it really depends on, to me, where the top 4 quarterbacks are going to go between Bryce Young, Will Levis, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. It really depends on how that, really the top 4 picks are going to go, because, it's been full smoke draft season so far. We've seen the Texans and the Cardinals, that have both expressed interest in trades, so that makes a lot of sense to me. They could get hauls for those picks, especially for teams that are kind of in the mid to later rounds that need a quarterback. So, teams like the Commanders, teams like the Vikings that potentially want to be able to come up. So they've got a lot of draft ammo. Let's be real. They've got a lot of leverage in this spot. So, and it's been literally the smokescreen season to this point. So for the Eagles at 10, I think this could be pretty interesting. So the Eagles, I know that PFF has their needs ranked here as wide receiver, guard, center, defensive lineman, and safety. I honestly love the idea of Kalijah Kancey going to the Eagles at 10. I also love the idea of a guy that is most likely the best running back prospect we've seen in the last couple of years, and Bijan Robinson going to them at 10 as well. Like, I know the running back position has been so devalued as of late. I understand that, but Bijan is different. He just is. And so I think if they went with, you want to talk about dream draft scenarios, I think if it fell like this, I think you would feel really good. But if it was the dream draft scenario for me, we've seen Jalen Carter fall for whatever reason. I know that there's been some problems with his, and honestly, the Lions get him here, which would be nasty. But there's been some problems with the whole racing incident that did kill an individual. Praise for that family and everyone involved. But overall, if somehow Jalen Carter fell to them at 10, we would just turn off the draft, because literally, you get the best defensive tackle prospect in this draft class, or at least the most talented and all of that. It would just be nasty. So, at 10, that would be the dream draft scenario for me, is Jalen Carter falling to him, but Kalijah Kancey would also be a lot of fun. Or if they truly do want to go wide receiver, I know they got A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith overall, but it is one of those things where if Jackson Smith and Jigba is there, I definitely think he could be a guy that plays in the slot and does a lot of big things for you, so he would be a lot of fun. Guard and center at 10. If Peter Skoronski's there, I think he would be another dream draft scenario that you would really love to see too, because I think he's most likely going to play guard in the NFL, so he would be a lot of fun. Or I could see them trading down here from 10 and really seeing what they can get, maybe from a team that wants another player that maybe fell a little bit or had a little bit of a tumble there on draft day. So they're in a really good spot here. They could stick and pick at 10 and get just a playmaker, whether it's Kalijah Kancey, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Peter Skoronski, any of those guys, or they can trade back to the middle to later rounds. And essentially, wouldn't it be nasty if they had back-to-back first-round picks? I would hate it. I would just not be happy about it. But overall, yes, the Eagles are looking pretty good in the draft here for that first pick. Now, as far as the 30th pick, I'll just, if I'm right here in this spot, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to get Kalijah Kancey at 10. I know that you could get, Peter Skoronski there, but this isn't a mock draft, but we're just looking how things would go here. So the problem with this is you have to be able to justify yourself losing Bijan Robinson to the Cowboys, which again, I think that's where you trade down back into the middle side of things. Maybe with teams if there's a quarterback still there, maybe with teams like the Commanders, who would make a lot of sense to me. Maybe even the Buccaneers, because then you could still get Bijan Robinson. You can still get whoever you want at 20, you could still get whoever you want at 30 to be able to help this thing out. So maybe even a guy like O'Cyrus Torrence. So I do think if you want to target Bijan Robinson in a dream draft scenario, I think trading back would be advantageous for the Philadelphia Eagles, because you could still get some things done, and we've seen Howie Roseman do it. So I really think that you could start out there by trading back, or you could stick and pick. But at the end of the day, a dream draft scenario to me is trading back, and still getting a guy like Brian Bruzzi if you want him at 30, and then finding a way to still get Bijan Robinson. Like, you get those two to start things out. Like, that's just nasty. That's just absolutely nasty. So because you also do have to realize, after 94, there's really nothing that they have, and I think 94 is the third, if I'm not mistaken. So after 94 in the third round, like from the fourth, 4-5 range, like there's not a whole lot going for the Eagles. So it would make a lot of sense to really build out the rest of the draft there. But overall, the Eagles are sitting in a really good spot. They're probably in a spot where they can get two major needs at defensive tackle and running back filled in the first round, which would be huge. Also, wide receivers there. So if they want to go into the second round and go get their wide receiver at 62, I think Jalen Hyatt will be there. So he's a tremendous slot player. I think he stretches the field with speed as well. So he would be a lot of fun for the Philadelphia Eagles. But that is it. That is our dream draft scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We really appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the dream draft scenarios for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2023 NFL Draft.